Richard here from the Men of the House podcast. Happy Wednesday. Happy spring break for all those on spring break, which I am officially as of today. Just wanted to talk a little bit about boundaries today. So, I recently had to set some boundaries, and that came through awareness. As you may or may not know, I do caregiving for a living. I was a live-in caregiver for 3.5 months until Mr. Buck passed away, and then we took on a couple of other clients shortly after, and I didn't really feel settled. It felt, I came off one big project that was very consuming, live-in caregiver, all-consuming, 24/7. And I felt like before I could even get settled into my life and everything I left behind to take on the 3.5 month project, we got 2 new people. And we said yes because we want to be helpful. We love to help. But, within a couple of weeks, it was just too much. Too many hours. The VA is cutting a lot of people hours. So instead of getting more hours in one place, you're getting nickel and dime for 2 hours here, 2 hours there, and 2 hours there. So a lot more commuting versus being a 24/7 where you're there and you're there all day, most days. So yeah, it became overwhelming and too much. And I felt like I was trapped in a damn hamster wheel, which wasn't pleasant. And, one of these clients required a very early wake up, a 30-minute commute to be there very early. So, and it wore on me for about 3 weeks until I just finally decided, look, this is not my main thing. This is something I do on the side and to try to be helpful when I can. However, it's taking me further away from me, my life, my long-term goals with the podcast, goals with coaching, because I was being nickel and dimed for many, many things. So, I had to set boundaries. I had to be aware that this was happening to me, and I had to speak up. And this is very difficult when you're a recovering people pleaser. And your heart is that of service because, if you've heard any of my episodes, I've always served. The capacity just changes. How I serve is different. Where I serve, who I serve. And so, yeah, when you have a heart of service and you're a people pleaser, you feel bad. You feel bad setting boundaries. But it's the equivalent of, if you don't do it, you're basically setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. They're only worried about them and how it impacts them, not necessarily you. But I can say, through it all, the clients and the people I work for have been very understanding. So I am very grateful for that, and kudos to them. But yeah, I had to do this, and I feel different. I feel lighter. I feel better. I feel aligned. I feel like I'm finally on spring break, and now I can go and spend some time with my daughter and my niece, which I'm excited to. I'm driving to go get them now so we can spend the rest of the day together, and then, hang out the end of the week. Maybe go out of town, do something fun. But yeah, if you need to set some boundaries, don't be afraid. It's hard. It's difficult. I wanted to set it earlier. I thought about it. It took me days and days to muster up the courage. And I would consider myself a pretty open and vulnerable, forward kind of person. I mean, some of the things I've said on my podcast, you know, some of the deepest parts of me, what brings me shame, what trips me up. So yeah, I kind of no more surprised than myself that I had trouble speaking up and setting a boundary, but I did. But this experience will be helpful for next time I need to set a boundary, because I'm more aware. I'm able to recognize it much sooner, much quicker, and I know the importance of it, because I felt like I was dying for about 2.5, 3 weeks, and it was cutting into everything else. So yeah, tap into your self-awareness, grow some huevos, some cojones, and set boundaries if you need to. Your inner self, your inner child, and your future will thank you. Till next time, peace.